All right, let's talk candy. I know. When you think dream career, a vision of giant lollipops and chocolate rivers might not be the first thing that comes to mind. But trust me, there's a surprising amount of depth to the world of candy machine operators. We dove deep into this roll catcher stack you sent, and let me tell you, it's not just about pressing buttons.
It really isn't. What's fascinating is how this seemingly simple job involves a blend of precision, technical know-how, and even a dash of artistry.
Right, so in this deep dive, we're going beyond the sugarcoating to uncover what a candy machine operator really does, the skills needed to succeed, and maybe even spark some ideas for your own career journey.
Absolutely. We're going to break down not just the day-to-day, but also those aha skills that translate across industries. Plus, the career paths RoleCatcher outlines might surprise you.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. We've all seen candy machines, but what's actually happening behind the scenes in the factory?
Well, it's easy to imagine someone just shoveling candy into a machine, but it's so much more intricate than that. Think about it. You've got these giant vats of melted chocolate, carefully measured and mixed to achieve that perfect taste and texture. It's like a massive, delicious chemistry experiment.
I never thought about it that way. It's easy to forget that those perfectly formed gummy bears or those intricately decorated chocolates all start with raw ingredients.
And that's where the candy machine operator steps in. They're not just tending machines, they're essentially orchestrating the entire process.
So what does that actually look like? Does RoleCatcher give us a glimpse into a day in the life?
They do. And it's surprisingly hands-on. Imagine spreading out a giant, still warm sheet of caramel, then carefully cutting it into perfect squares, either by hand or with specialized equipment. It requires incredible precision.
Wait, hold on. Hand-cutting caramel. That sounds incredibly meticulous, like something you'd see on a gourmet cooking show, not necessarily on a factory floor.
Exactly. And don't even get me started on the molds. Think about those elaborate chocolate shapes or those gummies with multiple colors and flavors. All of that requires incredible attention to detail and a steady hand.
Wow, I'm already starting to see how this job requires a whole other level of skill than I initially thought. It's not just about knowing how to work a machine. It's about understanding the entire process, from raw ingredients to finished product.
You got it. And that's where those hidden skills that RoleCatcher keeps mentioning come in. They're the things that might not be immediately obvious, but are essential for success in this field. And, as we'll see later, can open doors to other opportunities as well.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity. What are these hidden skills that RoleCatcher keeps mentioning? What does it take to be a successful candy machine operator? Beyond just, well, operating the machines.
It's a really intriguing mix of practical know-how and those transferable skills you can take anywhere. Obviously, understanding food safety and hygiene is a must. Nobody wants a surprise ingredient in their gummy bears, but it goes beyond that. Think about the problem solving involved. You've got these intricate machines working with potentially sticky, gooey substances. Troubleshooting isn't just about hitting reset, it's about understanding the mechanics, thinking on your feet, and keeping that production line moving.
So you're saying a candy machine operator needs to be a bit of a mechanical whiz, someone who can not only work the equipment, but diagnose problems and find solutions on the fly.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about those precise measurements we talked about earlier. RoleCatcher emphasizes the importance of accuracy, whether it's weighing out ingredients or timing a specific stage of the process. One wrong move, and you could end up with a batch of fudge that's too hard or caramel that's stickier than it should be. That kind of attention to detail, that ability to follow instructions and maintain consistency, that's valuable in any industry, right?
Absolutely. Especially in today's job market, where those core skills are so highly sought after. But what about the creativity aspect? I'm still a bit hung up on that one. How does creativity play into the role of a candy machine operator?
That's where it gets really interesting. Think about it. Those intricate designs, the flavor combinations, even the way candies are presented in packaging. There's an art to it all. RoleCatcher highlights examples of senior operators who are experimenting with new flavor profiles or coming up with innovative ways to use existing equipment to create entirely new candy creations. It's about thinking outside the chocolate box, so to speak.
That's a side of the job I never would have considered. It sounds like there's real opportunity for innovation and even artistry in this field. It's not just about following a recipe, it's about pushing boundaries and coming up with the next big thing in candy.
Exactly. And that kind of creative problem solving is gold in any profession. But even if you're not dreaming of inventing the next gummy bear sensation, RoleCatcher emphasizes something else that's universally valuable: teamwork. Remember, these factories are complex operations with multiple moving parts. Candy machine operators aren't working in isolation. They're constantly communicating with colleagues, collaborating on solutions, and training newer team members.
That makes sense. It's like a well-choreographed dance, everyone playing their part to keep the candy flowing smoothly. But let's say someone listening is intrigued by all of this. They've got the skills, they're ready to jump into the world of candy making. Where do they even begin? Does one become a candy machine operator? Does RoleCatcher offer any guidance on breaking into the industry?
They do, and it's surprisingly accessible. While some larger companies might prefer formal qualifications, RoleCatcher emphasizes the value of hands-on experience. Think internships, apprenticeships, even entry-level positions where you can learn the ropes from experienced operators.
So it's not necessarily about having a degree in candy science. It's about showing a willingness to learn, to get your hands dirty, literally,
Yeah.
and to work your way up.
Exactly. And this is where I think your personal experience could be a huge asset. Remember all those years you spent tinkering in the kitchen, experimenting with different recipes, perfecting your baking techniques.
You're saying all those late-night baking experiments were actually secret career prep. My resume needs an update.
Think about it. That hands-on experience, that familiarity with measurements and ingredients, and that passion for creating something delicious, those are all transferable skills that a hiring manager would love to see.
That's actually really encouraging. It seems like there are multiple pathways into this field, whether you're coming in with formal qualifications or a passion for all things sweet. But let's say you've landed the interview. You're sitting across from a hiring manager. The smell of chocolate wafting through the air. What kind of questions should you be prepared for? Does RoleCatcher offer any insight into the interview process?
They absolutely do. And it's not just about knowing how to work the machinery or recite safety regulations. RoleCatcher provides some really insightful sample interview questions that reveal a lot about the skills and qualities employers are looking for in a candy machine operator.
Okay, hit me with a sample question. What kind of curveball could I expect in a candy machine operator interview?
Well, one that RoleCatcher highlights is, can you explain how you ensure that candy machines are running at optimal efficiency? You see, it's not just about knowing how to turn the machine on and off. It's about understanding the nuances of speed, temperature, and timing to maximize output and minimize waste. It's like being a candy machine whisperer, understanding their every whim and quirk.
It sounds like they're looking for someone who's not just an operator,
Yeah.
but a problem solver, an efficiency expert, someone who can not only keep the candy flowing, but optimize the entire process.
Exactly, and that kind of thinking is highly valued no matter the industry. But let's say you ace the interview, you land the job. You're officially a candy machine operator. What does the career trajectory look like? Does RoleCatcher paint a picture of what lies beyond entry level?
Yeah. We touched on those career stage outlines earlier. Can you walk us through those different levels and the kind of progression someone might expect in this field?
Absolutely. As with most careers, you start at the entry level, focusing on mastering the fundamentals, working under supervision, and gradually taking on more responsibility. It's about proving yourself, showing that you can handle the heat, literally, of the factory floor.
So, paying your dues, learning the ropes from the seasoned pros. What comes next?
That's when things start to get interesting. As a junior operator, you're given more autonomy. Think independent operation of machinery, troubleshooting minor issues, even training new hires.
Okay, so now you're not just responsible for your own output, but for guiding and mentoring others. A bit of leadership sprinkled in.
Exactly. It's about taking ownership of the process and sharing your knowledge with newer team members. But let's say you've got your eye on the top of the candy mountain. What does RoleCatcher say about the senior operator level?
That's what I want to know. Give me the details. What does a day in the life of a senior candy machine operator look like?
Well, imagine this. You're overseeing entire production lines, managing multiple machines, and responsible for ensuring the quality and consistency of, say, all the gummy bears produced that day. You're coordinating with different departments, analyzing production data, and even identifying areas for improvement.
So we're talking about a serious leadership role, someone who understands the entire ecosystem of the factory and is responsible for making sure it all runs smoothly.
It's a far cry from simply pressing buttons, right? You're a problem solver, a mentor, an efficiency expert, all rolled into one. But what's really fascinating is that RoleCatcher doesn't just stop at the factory door. They actually highlight how the skills learned as a candy machine operator can translate to a wide range of other industries and career paths.
Now that you mention it, we talked about those transferable skills earlier. Attention to detail, problem solving, teamwork. Those are valuable in any profession. But where else could a candy machine operator's experience be particularly relevant?
Well, The obvious connection is within the broader food production and manufacturing sector. Those skills in operating machinery, ensuring quality control, and maintaining a hygienic work environment translate seamlessly. But think even broader than that. Imagine transitioning into a quality assurance role in a completely different field, or even using those project management and leadership skills in a fast-paced startup environment.
It's amazing when you think about it. The skills you might develop while surrounded by giant vats of chocolate could be your ticket to a whole other world of opportunity.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing those transferable skills and knowing how to articulate their value to potential employers.
This entire deep dive has been a real eye-opener. We started with what seemed like a simple premise, exploring the world of candy machine operators. But what we've uncovered is so much more than that. It's a story of precision, problem-solving, creativity, and leadership skills that are valuable in any field.
And perhaps most importantly, it's a reminder that there are fascinating and unexpected career paths out there, just waiting to be discovered. Who knew there was so much depth and opportunity in the world of candy making?
Right. So to everyone listening, the next time you pop a gummy bear or savor a piece of chocolate, take a moment to appreciate the skill and dedication of the candy machine operators who made it all possible. They're the unsung heroes of the candy world, and their story is sweeter than you might think.
And who knows? Maybe this deep dive has inspired you to explore a new career path or to view your existing skills in a whole new light.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, sometimes the sweetest opportunities are the ones we least expect.